What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. Hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. It is the Lockdown Lounge 3. I'm Dom. I've got the great man Sauce, and we've got two special guests. One, obviously, very familiar, Anthony Collects. Anth, how you going?
Pretty good. Not bad.
It's good.
Refreshed.
You're coming off a fresh birthday yesterday.
Yeah. The big
Happy
two.
birthday, mate.
Thank you. Thank you.
And down there, we also have a new member jumping in today, SplashCulture, Dennis. Is his actual name, but we'll call him Splash. That's what we do in the hobby. We refer to him as Splash. So how you going, Splash?
Very good, very good. I had an even better weekend, as you can tell.
Yes.
Can't say the same.
Massive Chelsea fan.
But
as you can see.
yeah, it's a great weekend. Very good.
Stop.
Capped off perfect.
He's already switched off. Look at him.
And it's fair to say your prediction of 3-0 didn't turn out too well.
If I just disregard all comments, like I just not ignore them,
it didn't happen.
So the first question is also, Antha, your thoughts on the Champions League final? No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that. You're going to cop enough crap on crunch time this week. So, but we will talk about Champions League a bit later. But we've got both of you on because this Lockdown Lounge, we want to recap the hobby hangout that happened on Saturday at Sydney Uni. You were there, Ant, storeholder, and on stage. Splash, you were the host of the show. Boys, I'm going to give the floor to the two of you and go for it. Give us your thoughts on the show. How'd you find it? How's the health of the hobby going in this country?
Yeah, Anthony, you kick it off, buddy.
I'll start. First of all, the health of the hobby is there. Like, it's good. It caught me off guard how many people turned up. When we were setting up, I remember, and Splash, you probably remember this. When I was setting up and everyone was getting like ready, there was a few people that were like flickering in from, that had a helping hand with someone's booth or whatever it is, and they kept saying, "There's a line around the corner. There's a line around the corner." I'm like, "What?" And then my girlfriend came and she's like, "We couldn't find parking. The road to get into Sydney Uni was practically blocked off because of the amount of people trying to turn in. There's a queue that goes right around the block, waiting at 11 o'clock, like a sneaker, like it's Target in the States. People are waiting.
I seen a story on that. I seen a story, someone's story who was at the show who I follow, and it was pretty cool, to be honest. It was pretty cool to see that.
Yeah, I was buzzing. I was excited. And basically what happened was, they got let in on the top floor, and basically I was on the bottom floor, and then it starts tinkering down and trickling down, and it got busy. It got ridiculously busy down there. It was packed. People were on top of each other's shot, like trying to look, and what do you got type of thing. And it was just busy from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. without a single break. The only break I got was sitting on stage with Splash and Grayson live streaming in. That was literally the only break I got. And even then, I got my Apple Watch on. I mean, messages from my mates that are helping with the booth. What do I price this at? What do I price this at? Can I sell this? Can I price? Give me the okay. So it was a constant day. It was really, really busy.
Nice. That's good reports. Splash, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, 100% agree. It was mental. I came in obviously a bit early, like Anthony did, to help some mates set up, but also just go check out the stage, the setup, how everything was going to run. And you could see that there was this kind of, I'm sure you remember, Anthony, sweet spot between about 10:30 a.m. to just before open, where everyone that had a store was kind of walking around, buying a few things, just looking around, and then when about 11 hit, 5 minutes after that, I just turn around and I just see people flooding in and booths start filling, and people in the stalls were getting absolutely smashed. But it was just really good to see. Everyone I spoke to that had a store sold just a ton, especially singles, which was, incredible to see. And then, so of course, I was involved as a host on stage. And like Anthony touched on, we had a Q&A, which was great. We had a good little turnout there. We had people busting boxes out on the balcony while we were on stage, going nuts and enjoying that. And yeah, then I had the interview with Tyson Beck, which was awesome. And we had a lot of people just asking questions, getting involved. So yeah, it was a really good day, and I'd say the hobby, very good health.
I like it. Well, that's a positive, and it's, as we've said in groups off camera to ourselves, it's a true reflection on the state of Sydney as well, of the hobby, like how passionate the people are there in Sydney, in New South Wales, coming down and supporting the show, which is fantastic. I know there's a few people from Melbourne, obviously, that ventured over as best they could pre getting locked out of there, but honestly, that's fantastic stuff on what Sydney produced. Really, that's an eye opener. We had Adam from Beats and Breaks. He lived in, and literally, yeah, we saw you on there.
Even in that live, in that second, I look up and he screams out, "Oh, double coverage, boys!" And he's got the live, and I'm like, I tell them I can't message. Like,
yeah, I heard you. Yeah, we heard you.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. You could see you were pumping, like you were there, and he just like sort of turned his camera around, and yeah, it was full on. It was you could tell it was hustle and bustle from the get go, which you know is what you want, and it was exciting to see, and I'm excited that you know that the next one is officially supposed to be Melbourne, albeit things go to plan. How that's going to turn out, and definitely looking forward to the next one. And it seems as though the organizer Andrew and his team really know how to throw an event, and I think it's really helped having someone who's, you know, he's in the music scene. He does event management for music events, so he really understands, you know, the whole aspect of creating an atmosphere that wants people that draws people into coming to the show. And I think by the sounds of it and what we've seen and what we've shown around by Adam and talked to many people that were at the show, you know, they did a really, really good job at creating that atmosphere that's going to, you know, bring people back to the next one.
100%.
Lukey's got a few questions. He wanted to know what prices were like, lads, for wax, singles, comps or higher, he says.
Depends on the booth.
Yeah.
Depends very much on the booth. I went there with the intention of selling. Like, especially especially watching vlogs. Before the day before, I watched Car Collector 2's vlog on Dallas show, Sasha T's vlog on the Dallas show, even Sports Con Investor, and I barely watch him, but I watched his like vlog on the Dallas show and all those Dallas show vlogs. The most common trend I found was people were trying to sell at comps from February, and you're not moving enough. And then when you're not moving enough, what was the point of going and setting up if you're not moving anything? So that was a big thing for me. I wanted to make sure that for everything that I wanted to move, price it fairly, price it above comps, just a little bit, and then work with the person. If they show interest, all right, let me beat comps. Let me give you that 10% off eBay plus a little bit more. Take it, you know, and then use that money at the end to you know, reinvest and buy something else. But other people, I can't speak for other people. I don't know. I didn't do enough walking.
No, I think I agree with what Ant said. He was, and like he said, he was kind of stuck at his own booth. I got a bit more freedom to kind of walk around and check a lot more out in terms of pricing and stuff. And yeah, I guess it just depends on the individual person. But what I found was that, you know, I know with like shows like the Dallas Card Show, we're very focused on these big trades and huge money deals that happen there. Whereas this show was kind of more about just the volume of singles people were picking up, as in like going through those big buckets and flicking through the dollar singles and trying to get as many as you can and making a deal. And you could just see it. Every booth I walked past, there were about 5 people just flicking through boxes, just grabbing stuff out. You know, I saw even Cherry had a huge collection of singles. And I saw that at about 11 a.m. before they opened. And then I came past 2 hours later and it shrunk completely. So that was one of the big things I noticed.
And you also had trade.
Add him in the comments, Doma. As you can see there are a bunch of guys on the trading tables that were super approachable, happy to show their cards, offer up trade, and happy to just have a chat. It was a blast to put faces to some names, obviously on the gram where you follow each other and see each other's collections, which is what it's all about as well. So it's really nice to read that comment, Adam, that people were doing trades and using the trading section, which was put there by the organizers for that purpose. And it's funny enough, anyone, if you listen to Lucas Tigers Bronze podcast, their latest podcast, the Sunday show, Cage actually went to a show in Wayne in the New York area, and he spoke about how the organizer at the show wasn't happy when his son and some other young kids sort of opened their cases and were looking to make some trades within the show, right? And the organizers trying to tell them to move on because people have paid for tables. I think Andrew and the organizers understand that that's part of the hobby as well. If you're going to create a show, you're going to have dealers, but you're going to have people there that are coming there to meet each other and to do deals amongst each other. They have every right to do deals in there as everyone else, because also they paid for a ticket. It costs you $30 to get in, right? Yeah. So, why can't they come there and do trades? And it's good to see that they embrace that aspect here. And I mean, I had something similar when I went to the Melbourne card show at Malvern Town Hall, when I put my cards out on a spare table there that no one was taking, and I got told to move along by the organizer. Ended up having to go to the corner of the show, and I still ended up making deals and trading and selling cards by doing that, but I just had to do it at a different part of the show. He wasn't happy that I put it out on the table, which is fair enough, by all means. I'm not there to step on anyone's toes, but also understand that there's more to just bringing dealers and people just buying off the dealers. People come there as a community, and they want to interact with each other as well as the dealers that are there on the day. So it's good to see that was a major aspect.
Yeah,
Andrew from Lucas Tigers Bronze had a really good point on that, because I watched that episode, and he's like, some people are short-sighted in the way they run their business, and essentially organizing a plan or organizing an event is running a business. Having people pushed away is the wrong way of doing it. Just incorporate them, set up an area for them. I didn't see the trading areas, but like having a trading area, a dedicated trading zone is the right way of doing things. You want people in the event at all times. You don't want them going outside just to make a trade and then coming back in. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I was at Oz Comic Con in Sydney, and it was similar in that event, whereas there was nowhere to kind of put your cards down and do a trade. But on the weekend, there were the trading card zones set up. I think it was on level 2 mainly, and they had these nice kind of couch areas kind of spread out, where the trading zones were, and you see people just cracking out massive safe cases full of slabs, just making deals. I didn't kind of get to see it too much, but like it was just crazy the amount of slabs there. And even on the where the stage was, where we were doing our talks, there was an open kind of veranda there that wasn't a trading zone, but people going out there, bringing their slabs, having a drink, talking, opening blasters and packs. So they definitely did a really good job to maintain, the stores, but also that social aspect as well.
Definitely. And that's the thing with the hobby. It's so transparent. Like, I understand what you're saying, Anth, and Andrew did sum it up perfectly on the LTB podcast. But it's more like some people, and Source has said it before as well, it's like some old heads, and they've got this plan and they stick to that plan, and they're not willing to make a customization on the day, where the hobby's so transparent and people have literally talked to each other months, weeks prior to these shows, ready to do these deals. And when they come to the show to do the trade, as you know, as someone in the hobby, you always know what happens. They come with their slab briefcase, and once they open it, they see the card that they want. There's probably like 4 other cards that are in there, and they go, "Oh, yeah, is that up for trade? Can I buy that off of you?" And then it just becomes a whole negotiation point. So that dedicated trade area, fantastic. Now,
massive.
Meeting people that you've spoken to over social media, over the gram, Facebook, wherever it may be, in groups on Facebook and chats on Instagram. How was it putting faces to the name, and also meeting so many people that you may not have known even existed in the hobby potentially when you went to the show? How was that?
Yeah, I loved it. It was really good because people, I think it's unique. I've got Anthony Collects, and my face is usually in a lot of these, because we do crunch time and everything, my face is in a lot of places, like on my feed. So people knew me straight away. Like they're like, oh, Anthony Collects, they came up. But then I didn't know who they were. And there was that 5 seconds of like trying to piece who's who. Zach came down. I saw a lot of people that were there, and they introduced themselves straight away to make it like completely.
You got to tell them to drop their. You got to be like, "What's your IG handle?" That's what you got to say. What's your IG handle?
I was giving out business cards, and they go, "No, bro, I already follow you. I'm this guy." I'm like, "Oh, what the?" And then we dap each other up, and then we start that conversation. But it was really good in that sense, putting faces to names. And now there's so many people that I know, and then I can look at their Instagram and like, it's you. And then it's even more of like a transparency type of thing. It's really good. I really enjoyed that part of it.
Yeah, faces to names were incredible. Yeah, definitely incredible. I had some people come up to me that's I'd obviously, because I'm different to Anthony, like he just mentioned, I don't have my face plastered on my DP and on my timeline. So some people just noticed the name and came up and said, "Oh, I spoke to you on DMs." There was someone who I spoke to who months ago showed me this Steph Curry card that he couldn't find any comps on, and we were going back and forth trying to figure it out. And I see him at the show, and he's pulled out the card that exactly how we were talking about. He goes, "I bought it here, try to find out information." So that was really cool to see. And even meeting like the Cherry guys, for example, Charlie, I spoke to for almost like months previous to the show. Then to meet him in person, as well as Dale, who made it up. It's a shame the other guys couldn't make it. But yeah, just that whole aspect of being, faces to names was really good.
That's awesome. Any final remarks? Anything that really blew you away in terms of anything that improvements? Not being critical on it, but the
constructive criticism or whatever it may be. Anything?
I got a few quick, like rapid fire things. What do you boys have seen my collection? What do you think got the most attraction? So I had set up these Splash saw them, these cases now with the grass, and eventually I want to sell them. You'd think that in those cases I had everything, pretty much all my high end apart from the Messi and a few other things. You think the Mbappe BGS 10 would get the most? Like, how much you pricing that? How much you price? It got maybe 2 questions the whole day. Where is it?
It was Marvel, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Although Marvel did get quite a bit. Was
there people buying up Marvel?
Marvel was probably my second bestseller. This right here got at least 150, 200 questions throughout the whole day. Everyone that stopped by the booth kept saying, "What is that?" And I'd explain the OB signature and what it is and everything like that. Everyone was drawn to these different things. Marvel, Formula One sold so well. The singles for Formula One sold ridiculously well. And it helped because I was so different. Like I had soccer, Formula One, Marvel, and the Star Wars thing. Everyone else really was central on NBA. So that helped. And other quick comments. The boys around me, so I was next to Cherry, I was next to TD Design Works. They're amazing people. I met so many amazing people that were helping each other, and at the end we started buying and selling things from each other. It was really good. Really, really good. But I found that interesting. The Mbappe got nothing. No love at all. The Obi-Wan got a ridiculous amount of love.
When he goes on to win the Euros, that's when the love will come.
Of course, yeah.
All right, we'll wrap up on the recap, and we can talk some sport because a bit has happened. But Sauce and I do want to formally thank a few people as well on the day. Obviously, we want to thank Andrew in the Hobby Hangout first and foremost. Due to the circumstances, obviously, what happened here in Victoria and us not being able to travel over down into New South Wales and into Sydney for the event, it did us a real solid. So thank you for letting us interview Jesse Swartz first and foremost on a pre-pod, which played at the event, which I think Splash or you, Ant, sent through to us. So appreciate that. And then also big thanks for letting us run that live stream room for 2 hours from 12 to about I think 2:30, went a bit over. Andrew messaged, he goes, "Oh, you finished? Are you still going?" I'm like, "Oh, we're still going." And we had Joel jump in, which was awesome. Beats and breaks. So thanks, Adam. Appreciate you taking us around. Lukey jumped in. So Mars Sports Cards, Azuldo Cards jumped in. Chesh Breaks, Refresh Cards jumped in. Tyson Beck jumped in for about 15 minutes just before he was about to jump on with you, Splash. And we said, "Listen, we got you for 15 minutes." And then he kept talking. I said, "No, I'm cutting you off. That you got to go. You got an interview to get to." So he's awesome, Tyson. He's fantastic. So I appreciate him giving his time. And then big thanks also to Cage, who saw what we were doing. I did drop him a message. I said, "If you're awake, we are doing this live stream. Feel free if you're keen to jump in and have a chat to people here in Australia." And he was super keen. He jumped in and we chopped it up for about 40-odd minutes, 30-odd minutes, which was awesome.
Great chat.
Awesome as well. Yeah, so massive thanks to everyone. The event was a huge success by all reports. So well done to all the organisers, and we look forward to the next Hobby Hangout. All right, boys. Where do we want to start? Do we want to go into the NBA area here, or do you want to just avoid soccer completely? Ant probably does, but
Depends who you ask, really. I just want to add one thing.
I need to go downstairs, boys. I gotta go. No.
Listen, I just want to say one thing. Right? When I was prepping the questions for the Q&A panel, and I had some rapid fire questions to ask, I always knew I was going to ask about predictions for the Champions League final the next morning. And when I asked the predictions, and Anthony confidently said on stage 3-0 Man City win, that's when I knew that we were going to win. Just right there. That's when I knew that was it.
You're paying $4.40. Talk about severe outsiders. And something I didn't know, which I probably should have prior. Maybe if I just looked on my favorite app, FOTMob Mobile, you would have seen that in the last, I think the last 3 times you've played them, prior to that you'd beat them, or the last 2 times. So
yeah, we beat them the last 2 games, and the whole talk was surely we don't beat Pep 3 times in a row. And I was talking to a friend the night before, and I said, "Listen, the only way City lose is if Pep overthinks it." And then you see the lineup come out, and he's not playing a DM. So, you know, I think he definitely overthought it. He tried something. He experimented something in a final. He had played 59 out of 60 games with a defensive midfielder previously. And then in the final, he just drops it. And you could see that when that goal came, you know, those 3 midfielders, Gundogan, Foden, and De Bruyne, they're not defensively minded. They didn't have the anticipation to cover that space. And they went through and scored. It was only until Fernandinho came on that they kind of calmed things down and looked more stable. So I think Pep definitely overthought it, and City miss out.
They do miss out. I'm pretty happy as a United fan. But we did rip 2 cereal boxes, as I call them, breakfast boxes, on the Hobby Hangout. And I'm telling you what, out of this, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 cards here. I want you to guess how many of the 8 cards, like in the hits, we'll say the hits, are Chelsea players that we pulled out of 2 cereal boxes.
You got one at the back there. Can see that.
Yeah, the GOAT.
That's Timo for sure.
Who still has not responded to us in the chat, bro, which is quite disappointing. We've supported him the last 2 months, and he's given us nothing. Anyway, I'll show you what we got.
So the fact that he's got a medal, a Champions League medal, is so disgusting.
we got Mendy. We pulled a Tammy Abraham, Kovacic red, Blue Mahrez, Blue Sucker.
Oh, nice.
Silver James.
I'll take that blue sucker.
The GOAT. That's a hit, bro, because you're on here, and
oh
that's the reason.
I can't believe you wasted a penny. The penny sleeve's worth more than the actual card. That's ridiculous.
And bro,
that's why he did it.
This is the hit, bro. This is the hit. Luke is G'ing up. I know he's G'ing up. So Splash. Here it is. The color match blue team.
Wow. That's incredible.
Sauce has got the pink as well.
I'll tell you one thing. The most disappointing part of the Hobby Hangout, I'd say the only disappointing part about it, was that when the show started, I looked at Anthony's booth and I saw a Timo Werner Obsidian card. When the show ended at 4 p.m, I came back, it was still there. So
Of
that was the
course.
most
Kidding.
disappointing part.
I
of the show.
offered
I'm
I offered
surprised
it as
no one picked it
freebie.
up.
I offered it as dollars. I started at $1. The first 3-4 people that came up were like, "No, it's okay. No, it's okay. Give it to someone else." No, I'm like, "Okay, I'll start giving it away." People come up to this. "Oh, take this for free." He's like, "No, I'd rather She-Hulk from Marvel 1990. I'd rather one of these cards for free." It stayed the whole day. I
Market
still
doesn't
got
lie,
it.
I guess.
I would have bought it, bro. I would have
He's having
bought
the
it just
last
so I
laugh
could
now.
sell it.
Old Timo.
Yeah, I
Old
know he
Timo.
is.
Old team.
No, he's
Okay,
still
He's,
there.
winning
Stevie
his medal.
responds.
Two
Stevie
things
does.
on that. Kante, what a cutie. He's like, honestly, I love him. Like, what a legend. Honestly, like,
Have you had a look at his rookie cards? Does he have a rookie card, a sticker or something?
I haven't. I thought about it on the way home.
Ingolo?
I was thinking, surely there's a good rookie card there. And shout out to everyone that held Kai Havertz cards because he got copped the most. He had the biggest downfall, and now he's back up. Yeah,
There we go.
There you go.
yeah.
I
That's
should
credit
have bought
to you.
more.
Like,
That's the only regret.
yeah.
Shout out to City supporters as well. Based on the post-match videos that we saw of Kai Havertz, he's an absolute freak of a human, and he's the guy that beat you. So I feel so sorry for your supporters, bro. He's so cooked. I don't know what the hell he was doing.
He's like a
I don't
full
know.
like teenage child. Like he's just
literally like a 5-year-old, bro. And that's the guy that buried them. It's very funny. But
Look,
there was a moment in that game for yourself, Splash, as a Chelsea supporter, and for every American soccer collector, when Pulisic missed that goal, I swear, they were up. They're already out of their seats the moment his foot hit the ball. If it went through the back of the net,
the angle of the goal, like the way the camera was, it looked like it went into the net. You could see the crowd behind the goal get up in celebration. I'm on my couch about to launch myself, and then you just see it go past that far post, and all I could think of is just the posts and the sales that were going to happen if Pulisic netted that goal. I was really disappointed it didn't go through. Just purely to see the aftermath of it, but it's unfortunate.
I was spewing as well. But based off of that, let's look into a prediction on how crazy it potentially could have been. You look at Kai Havertz at halftime after he scored, and some of the listings, like. Just imagine that was Pulisic.
Yeah.
It would have just been crazy. And Ant, you called it. And Lukey as well, you called it for ages. And you've been saying it for ages. You said on crunch time, if he kicks a goal in the Champions League final, it's over. It's over, it's over, it's over. And he was this close. If it went in, bro, it would have been he's better than Haaland. That's what would have happened. He's the new hype beast all of a sudden. It's just insane. Insane. All right, let's move on to some basketball stuff. We're going to start with the Lakers game quickly. And Saucy, I messaged you. I said, if Davis doesn't play, you're cooked.
Yeah, look, I'm going to go on the record here and say, with or without Davis, we will make it out of the first round. LeBron will put the Lakers on his back and he'll make it happen, right? It's still bizarre saying this. A guy 37 years old, we're saying you need to put the team on your back at age 37 and put up 40 for us to win. Like, how ridiculous is that? Like, no one in the history of the sport have you gone and said, you know, you're a 37-year-old, you got to put up 40 for us to win and probably play, you know, 40 minutes just about, you know, for us to have a chance to win. Now, I think we make it out of the first round. Reports are that it's not serious. He's avoided serious injury. He's day to day. We don't know how the groin strain, how he's going to pull up. I expect him. If he wasn't able to come back, you know, when you're warm, sort of, you know, you've got the blood flowing, and you're not able to come back right there and then. The fact that it cools down, 2 days rest, I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't expect him to play in the next game. I think he's out for the next game. Maybe he comes back the game after that. I'm not sure. But you know, today I'm not going to make excuses that LeBron, that AD got injured, but in that third quarter, there was a point there where, you know, where the game was getting away from us, and LeBron still chose to pass up the ball, and he didn't attack, didn't go to the bucket when he needed to. Sort of when we needed to, sort of to stop the bleeding, if you get what I mean. And he didn't take that opportunity in the third quarter. It got out to an 18-point lead. I mean, there was 3 or 4 minutes to go, and it was down to a 6 or 7 point lead. So we did get it back, but it was just too much in the end, especially without AD. But if AD is out for the foreseeable future, look, we just got no chance. We can't win. We can't, repeat if he's out going forward. We need him there. And it doesn't get any easier in the next round. I don't know who our next round matchup could potentially be.
Nuggets or Portland.
Nuggets or Portland. So it doesn't get any easier. Who would you want to verse out of those two?
Probably Nuggets.
Playing pretty well, and I'd probably say Nuggets. Yeah, I'd probably say Nuggets. We've got the wood over them, albeit no Jamal Murray. But yeah, we have to make it past this round, which I think we will. I think LeBron still has enough in the tank to do what LeBron, what we know he can do. I still think he has the ability to flash it back to his early Cleveland days and early Miami days in that sense, and just being able to just dominate, put up 36, 15 assists, just do something bananas. I look, he's still got it. He's still got it. It's crazy that I'm saying this, but as I said, the 37-year-old old man is still got it. Unbelievable that I'm saying it. But yeah, look, time will tell. Interesting, what's come out of today's game, the injury. So yeah, and just another great performance by Andre Hayden, must I say. He has in his first playoff series has been big, and I think I heard someone mention about this, about Hayden. I can't remember who said it, but I think earlier in his career, people were trying to tell, make Hayden something he is not. Hayden is not Joel Embiid, right? Hayden's not Joel Embiid. He doesn't have that same sort of finesse on his jump shot. He's got a little bit of a mid-range jumper. He can't really drain the threes. He was used to take more threes. He's an upgraded version of Clint Capella. That's my comparison to him. He rolls to the ring hard. He finishes hard. He defends hard. He rebounds hard. But he's actually got a bit of a jump shot, a bit of a slight outside jumper. But other than that, I think that's what DeAndre Ayton is. He's Amari
Stoudemire 2.0.
Yeah, I think that's sort of his game. He's not a Joel Embiid type. He just there's only one Joel Embiid or there's very few 7-footers that got that touch that he's got. So props to him. Definitely props to him. Devon Booker, in my opinion, other than probably one game in this series, has been disappointing. He was good today, and they had an all-round, team performance where multiple guys scored over 12, 13, 14 points. But if you're a Devon Booker card investor, or you've got his cards and you want to see him progress or do more in the playoffs, ominous signs at this point. Especially if they get bounced. Yeah, well, I understand they're winning, right? But he's a guy who you think he's got that Kobe mentality in him, if you get what I mean, right? Kobe ain't going out there in any playoff game and scoring 17 points, right? I'm just saying,
what I would say is, if he does switch it on, Lakers are in big trouble. Because if the whole team keeps this form, and then Booker comes in with his usual, hot streak of threes, and he goes for 40, the Lakers are in big trouble.
And I think CP3 staying healthy is going to be very important for them as well.
Yeah, he looked heaps better today. I will say that his shoulder looked a hell of a lot better.
Yeah.
Although he can't really shoot threes, but on those mid-range jumpers, he was solid.
Do you boys have a prediction based on Davis's injury, Anth and Splash? Where do you see this series potentially going? Do you reckon it's a massive swing now? Do you have the faith that Source has in LeBron James to carry them through the rest of this round?
If AD doesn't return?
Yeah.
I could see it going to 7. And I think a lot of it depends on the health, like we were saying. If CP3 stays healthy and AD can't get fit, then you'd be a bit worried as a Lakers fan. But as Source was saying, LeBron James, I don't think he's the type of guy that's going to want to exit first round. So, he's going to give it his all. And when that guy gives it his all, he's scary. So, I don't know. I can't really predict it, but I could see it going 7.
If he doesn't come back, Davis, this is ridiculous now. Like, this is just we're just projecting. This is what we do. We always put out takes. If he doesn't play and LeBron somehow goes on to win the title, what happens? I said it to Source today. What happens? I want to hear what you say before I go on the record, and then Cage gives me the Lamont of the week. So
I feel like it's too big of a task for him to do.
It is.
First of all, but let's say he does, then becomes a very interesting conversation. Becomes very Jordan did this, but he didn't win one without, like, the whole Pippen AD dichotomy type of thing comes into effect. But if LeBron does it without AD, then it's like, what the fuck? Like, how can you not credit him with the crown? Because you're doing it with who's your second best player?
Caruso, but he's elite, bro. So don't worry, he's a Hall of Famer.
Schroeder.
Yeah, that's
your thoughts, Splash.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough task, but if he did it, like Anthony said, it'd be a real conversation start being had, and I can just imagine all the takes that would be on ESPN and inside the NBA, and just the debates that would go on. But he would really, really cement his legacy more than he already has, obviously, if he did somehow pull off a championship without AD.
So I'm not going to ask you, because we know where you stand on LeBron anyway in this whole discussion. All I have to say to you is Zydrunas Ilgauskas, and that's enough for where you stand on LeBron James in the discussion. But I said it to Source today, if he doesn't come back and he wins the title, somehow wins it, 37 years of age, he wheels his team over the line. Even that, Source and I have said it that many times on the podcast that it's pretty much, you either argue he's like a minuscule fraction behind Jordan, they're equal, or LeBron is minorly better than him, legacy-wise now. But if he wins it somehow this year, he's hands down. I'm telling you, the gap between him and Jordan is massive. It's over. Like, I don't want to hear Jordan did this and Jordan did that. I had someone have an argument with me last night, and they said, "Oh yeah, LeBron doesn't make his players as better like Jordan did. They're shitter when they play with him." And I said, on what basis? I said, Jordan left, he retired, came back, and his team lost 2 games, like more than what they did the season before. So their record was 2 games worse than when they had Jordan. And then they came back and they pretty much willed the team to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then Jordan lost in the Eastern Conference Finals. He goes, "Yeah, but I grew up watching Jordan." I said, "Yeah, but that's the problem with everyone. You're too busy living on nostalgia and memories of Jordan that you're not willing to give LeBron even a look in." This is the problem. I've been there. Like, I didn't have to watch Jordan. I've went and watched, I'm telling you, like hundreds upon hundreds of hours, of watching footage of him playing old games and full games back to front. And he was amazing. But then I've watched LeBron thousands of hours, and like, Jordan had an impact on me when I was watching, got into basketball. But it's like, it is a tough one. But if he does win it this year, it's over. I don't want to hear another. He has to win 6. No, it's finished.
On the flip side, what do you think if KD wins it, leads Nets all the way?
Yeah.
Where do you start putting him in that conversation?
So KD, honestly, he wins it this year. That'll be his 3rd.
Yeah. Then imagine he double backs, wins it again.
He'd be pushing potentially to get into, like, I'm talking about like top 10 of all time. He's never going to be top 5.
So
I'm being serious. He won't be top, because he's not better. He's not better than. And I don't. And funnily enough, this is me personally, but I don't put him ahead of. I don't put Kobe in the top 5, as crazy as that sounds to people. Like, I put Kobe in my top 10, but Is he better than guys like your Shaqs and your Jordans and your LeBrons? And is he better than Kobe? I'd say no. Is he better than Bird? I don't know. Wilt, Kareem. There's guys like that too that are very good. But KD is pushing. I'm willing to have the discussion top 10. If he wins this year, like potentially pushing to be in the top 10 of all time if he wins it this year. Potentially.
Yeah.
If he wins it again next year,
it's gonna be. It'll be funny. It'll be funny to see how much
as much
credit
as
people want to give him.
Yeah, but as much as we give him shit, as much as we give everyone shit on the podcast and this and that, Sauce and I, and even the two of you, we do it like sometimes to get a reaction, to have a laugh. But we truly know the value of the player. Like we know the sport. We're not dumb. Like we know where Harden sits. We know where guys like Kevin Durant sit and Stephen Curry and all these guys. Yeah, it's not like Harden we bag him, doesn't play defense, so he'd never be in the top whatever. Like Harden will go down and he probably won't win a title, but neither did Charles Barkley, and he's a top 20 player ever. So
we don't know yet. So they're looking good against Boston in this first round. Let's be honest.
Yeah, look, and I do want to touch on something because there's a series that I guess slipped under the radar a little bit because it kind of finished during the Champions League final, and that's the Bucks Miami series. I've seen a lot of people kind of discrediting Miami, saying that they're a bubble team, bubble this, like it's not the bubble. But I think people are neglecting how much Milwaukee improved. I've been telling a lot of people, that they're built for the playoffs this year, with the additions they made. So what I want to say on that is that this matchup they have, most likely against Brooklyn, could be one of the best series we've seen in a long time. I'm
excited for it.
I'm very excited. I am disappointed that Dante DiVincenzo is now out for the rest of the playoffs. I think that's a huge loss defensively, because you would have had,
especially he would have been a great matchup for Kyrie defensively.
Exactly, I was just about to say you would have had him on Kyrie. Yeah, you would have him on Kyrie, Drew on Harden, and Giannis on KD. So now you lose Dante, and you most likely probably have Pat Connaughton or PJ Tucker if you want to start with that. So that's definitely going to be tough. But I seriously think that series could be amazing, and if the Bucks did somehow beat Brooklyn and they got over that hump, I think they'll be having a lot of confidence to really take it all the way. But I think whoever wins out of those two in that series will definitely be really feeling confident about their chances.
100%. I completely agree with you on that. The only concerning thing, as Sauce and I have said prior about Brooklyn, I'm not like the defense thing, they're shit. Like, I don't need to worry about that. They're relying on the offense. But the most concerning
they are. I mean, they still gave up 125 to Boston today, but they did put up 140.
I know. But the most concerning thing out of the 140 is that the three main guys scored, I think, 110 of the 140 points. That's the most concerning thing. Boston hasn't got, like, Kemba, Jaylen Brown. They haven't got their guys, and they're still putting 125 on them. So when they play against one of the best defensive teams, and if one or two gets shut down, or one gets completely shut down, or one's having an off night, and KD is just going to dominate, it doesn't matter. He's just going to dominate. I was watching him today, just guys in his face, and he's just taking jumpers and just nailing threes.
Right.
But he was struggling. He struggles and he puts up 30, so it doesn't really matter about him. But if it goes to Harden and Kyrie, if one of them capitulates, it's over, because the rest of their guys, I don't want to hear Blake Griffin, and I don't want to hear Claxton and these guys. These guys are duds. Like, come on, man. Let's stop beating around the bush. Yeah, Claxton, he's a gun. He's not. He's just a role player. He's not actually very good. He plays in a system where he's got Harden and Kyrie and KD feeding him the ball. Like,
yeah, and they're just double teaming him, and he just slips off and gets dunks at the ring.
So
it's
the test is going to be, if the role players like shooters like Shamet and Harris, which are good players, if they can get open looks, they need to hit them. That's the thing. It's those role players step up, they'll have a big chance. But I just think the defensive pressure and the height and they're just scrappy as well. Milwaukee, scrappy but good. Yeah. I just think if they can win the next series, they potentially could go all the way and win it.
part of me wants to say like Brooklyn in gentleman's sweep, just so Bucks can come out and win it. But I really do want Bucks to win that. No, I genuinely want Bucks to win.
Don't you dare, and do not ever put on the record the team you actually want to win. Your prediction. That's all right. Bucks are getting swept. It's over. Forget about it. No, but seriously, it'd be awesome. And Giannis has copped a bit of flack. A fair bit of flack. He won 2 MVPs in a row, and he copped flack about that. And he's had the same, if not a better season this year than he did last season, potentially the season prior. He's been very, very good. He just flew under the radar. As you know, it's a media award. They're not going to give it to the same guy 3 years in a row, that's for sure. So we'll see what happens in that series. We're not going to get into the Philly-Washington one. That is literally the buy round for Philly. And Joel Embiid, if you haven't watched the highlights from that game, beasting and feasting. He just honestly, it looks like a more athletic Shaquille O'Neal in terms of because he can put the ball on the deck and go straight to the ring. He looks like Shaq.
Shaq. That's right. Yeah, Shaq was like that in his earlier days. He could turn up and face and few dribbles. He was at the rim and he was dunking on you and finishing. So he was like that. The one thing that Shaq never had was a jump shot. He did have a little, a baby hook. But other than that, that was sort of where he sat at. But Doma, we'll quickly just go through and then we'll round this up because we're running on time. But we had the New York, Atlanta. Obviously, Atlanta getting the W, 113-96. Noted Julius Randle once again struggling, 7 of 19 from the field, 23 points, which is its best performance. But not enough by the Knicks. Obviously falling away in the second half. They were right in it at halftime. I think they were only down by 4 points. And then in the third quarter, they let it slip, getting outscored 22-35. And Trae Young is showing that, he's built for these moments. He's put up 27 points, giving off 9 assists, went 5 from 5 from the free throw line. There's not much more you can ask from your starting point guard. He did go 4 of 14 from 3-point land. So, not the best there, but probably better him shooting it than some other guys on the team. And last game, Doma, which we'll stop and talk on a little bit, is the Clippers defeating Dallas. And I did put a story out on my Instagram that if the Clippers go on to win this game today, they will go on and win the series, as I backed them to do at the beginning in our playoff preview. And they stepped up the defense today. Dallas only putting up 81 points. They put the clamps down on Luka the Don. People are making excuses for him that he's injured. If you're out there, you're fit to play. So, no excuses, no, you're not getting a pass from me. He wasn't very good today. I think they've finally figured out that what you do is you double Luka Doncic and you force the other guys to beat you. That's pretty much all you got to do, right? And I think they've finally figured out that's the recipe for success against the Dallas Mavericks, is just make sure Luka Doncic doesn't beat you. If the other guys beat you, you can handle it. But if you allow Luka to go off for 40, 50 and, 10, 12 assists and just do whatever he wants, it's your own fault for letting him get away. But, PG has been massive in this series. He was pretty decent again today, not overly great, but he was still very good. Second top scoring with 20 points. Kawhi had 29 points. Kawhi's been unbelievable in this series, by out and out the best player on the court, in every game pretty much. Obviously you got the wins where Luka, but even in those losses, Kawhi played very well. One of the games he put up 43 points, I think. So your thoughts, lads, on that series? Where do you see it going? It is 2-2. Does Luka the Don revive himself and take it out, or does the Clippers go on to advance to the second round?
Look, I do think it's a massive mental thing coming back from 2-0 down and taking 2 games in Dallas now, and you're going back to LA now to play that third game. So I do think Clippers will take it through. But what I will say, win or lose for Mavs, I think that this offseason they're going to have to really make some serious moves because Luka has proven that he's a star. He's proven it in the playoffs. And all that's left now is to actually build a roster around him. And
he's ready to win now, isn't he, Splash?
Exactly.
And I said he's ready to win now. He's not ready to win in 2 years or 3 years.
Exactly.
He's got the capability to win now. Put the players around him now, and you can win, right?
Exactly.
And I hope they do that. I really do.
Yeah. And that's why I'm saying you need a better second star than Porzingis, and you need a better supporting cast because, like you said, Luka has shown in the playoffs that he can win games for you. So they're going to have to make some serious moves, win or lose. But I do think Clippers will take it.
Your thoughts, Ant, very quickly, and we'll wrap this up.
I agree with it. Splash said it perfectly. I want Mavericks to win very much so. I think it'd be good for the hobby if Mavericks win.
For sure.
Like I'm looking at it from a hobby perspective. If Luka does well, the hobby tends to do well. I think the fact that Clippers they won so convincingly today kind of makes it seem like, yeah, this is how it's going to be. It's going to be 4-2. They've kind of figured out, like Source said, double Luka, and let's see how it goes now. I don't know. I can see it going 7. I can see Luka pulling out another really good game, and then it goes maybe 7. It'll either go to 7 or Clippers might run away with it from
If
here.
they want to take it out 4-2, they will have to win a game in Dallas. So there is still one more game to be played in Dallas. So that still leaves an opportunity open for the Mavs and Luka.
Well, it's going to be interesting. I agree with what you said as well, Splash. If it doesn't work this series, they're gonna blow up the franchise. I said it yesterday. Luka's Batman. They got no Robin. And the third option, they got Alfred the Butler, and that is what Porzingis is at the moment, mate. All right, and he's playing like Alfred the Butler. So he did all right today, but it's just inconsistent. And I reckon that series, based on what I saw today, is finished. He's over. They have no chance of winning. They got confidence now. Like you said, it's a mental thing to come back down from 2-0 down. But that mental thing is just all confidence and rhythm, and they're just playing great defense. And they're looking very good. Very, very good. All right, boys. Any final thoughts? Anything in the hobby you wanted to discuss very quickly? Anything you've seen?
Shout out.
I got one. Shout out to... I've already shouted him out, but TD Design Works. At the end of the show, he wanted some of my Marvel packs that I have for sale. And I wanted... First of all, I wanted some of these stands. These stands are amazing.
He makes them, 3D prints them.
They're brilliant. And they're a little bit wider than the traditional Ultra Pro ones, so they hold the cards very nice. They don't rattle over or anything. But he had these two on sale. So he had this, the Tyson Beck Muhammad Ali, which is a sick-looking card. Nice. And then this was his last one, but it's the Mickey Mantle.
Yes, very nice.
Tyson Beck and
which Doma and I both have one of those, and Doma's sister's got one of those Muhammad Ali ones, which I'm spewing that I didn't pick up one of those. That's a really nice card.
Beautiful card. So we traded some packs, and it was good.
Beautiful. Awesome. Splash, any final remarks?
Yeah, no, I just shout out everyone. Yeah, no. Yeah, first things first, go Chelsea. Great weekend. For most of us, that is. But no, I just want to shout out obviously everyone that I met at the show and over the weekend, as well as the organisers, in particular Andrew did such a good job. But also the people that couldn't make it, like yourselves, and like a lot of people that had stalls or tickets booked for the show that couldn't make it. It definitely felt like we were just missing something small, and it was definitely all the guys from Melbourne that were meant to be up there. So I'm very excited for the next time when there's no restrictions, we can all get together.
Definitely.
Love it.
Go out for a few beers, mate, and we can enjoy it.
100%.
Talk the hobby, talk life, and just live it up and just have some fun. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Ant. Dennis, thank you very much. Saucy, thanks again. It's been our double coverage. Keep living, loving, and breathing all sports. It has been Lockdown Lounge 3, and peace.
Peace. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. talking all sports, double curve.